Well, I'm just relaxing in the shade here. It's about 2:30, and so we're probably going to hit the road here in half an hour to an hour and go back out to the stands. I wanted to bring you up to speed on some things. First of all, two guys got bears last night, and I'm going to be able to show you some of that footage. First of all, I mentioned earlier that when Dave got in his stand with the guide Marty, they called right away or texted as Scott was leaving and hadn't even left the area yet that they already had one. Well, that turned into quite a fiasco, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. Turns out that when Dave shot, he's shooting with a crossbow and they're in a ground blind, and his scope was above the V where he was shooting, but the arrow actually went through the blind itself, and although they couldn't tell where the arrow hit the bear, they knew that the arrow didn't fly true, and the arrow actually hit the bear in the back leg below the ham. So they didn't know that at the time. They just knew the bear ran off. So after Scott dropped me off, he came back out there, and by that time they had another bigger bear on the bait while they were waiting for Scott to come back. It was over an hour, probably an hour and a half before Scott got back there. And when Scott got there, they took the blind down and looked at the blood, and there was very little blood, and they started to follow the blood trail around, and then they turned and looked back, and here comes a bear towards the bait, and it's the same bear that he shot. So he ends up shooting that bear again. And sure enough, when they got back to camp and they got the bear skin, they found where the bear had been hit just in the hind leg. And 2 hours later came right back in, and they shot him again. So they got that bear. It's a nice bear, pretty decent male, about 200 pounds, and good deal. You know, it's kind of crazy, but that's the way it happened. So you're seeing some of that. Now, the other one is that Todd shot a bear, and he shot a real nice one. He had a chocolate and a couple smaller bears, and then he didn't really see anything until about an hour before dark, hour and a half maybe before dark, and then they just started pouring in, and he thinks he might have seen as many as 6, but they kind of came and went, so he knows there was at least 4. And he shot one that we actually weighed. It's a nice male that weighed 269 pounds, so a really, for a spring bear, pretty really nice male. Also with a crossbow. So anyway, you're seeing that. Now, I just wanted to speak to the issue of why I passed this bear up last night. And obviously, I'm doing this video before I have put the other video up, so I haven't been able to read the comments that people are leaving on it, on passing this, really big bear last night. And I don't feel like I have to justify it or explain it to anybody, but I'm going to anyway, okay? I love hunting in Canada. I love spring bear hunting in Canada and have done it for years. Many bear hunts and spring bear hunts in Canada. And then along come COVID, and I haven't been able to hunt bears in the spring at all in Canada for about 4 years. And I really miss it. And when I was thinking about coming back to Canada to hunt bears in the spring, I think about the whole package and the experience and sitting in the woods and enjoying just being in nature, the squirrels and the birds and the marten and the fisher and all the other things that you can see at a bear bait, and the just the whole big picture of that type of it. And also sitting around the campfire with other bear hunters and riding the quads in the woods and the baiting and all of the things that are a part of what makes a spring bear hunt so much fun. And at no point did I really think about the actual killing a bear. So when I was able to come up here, I decided I'm not going to put any pressure on myself. I'm just going to enjoy the process. I'm going to enjoy the experience, and I'm going to hunt at least a couple of nights. Basically, I decided, unless there's a bear that comes in the first night that makes me say, holy smokes, look at that. You just sure don't see that every day. Or, something that it's like you probably won't get this chance again. That's what it would take to make me kill a bear the first night. Especially, we got 3 days of good weather here. Today's 80 degrees, and tomorrow's going to be high of 62, but still, nice weather, probably a little windier. So I just decided to pass that bear. Will I have another opportunity at him? Possibly. I'm not even going back to that stand tonight, but he could come back at some point when I can go back to that stand. So that's my thought process, and I hope you understand. Like I said, I don't feel like I need to justify it or anything like that. I really just sort of feel like you deserve an explanation of why a guy passes up a bear that just about anybody else would be thrilled with, and it's just where I'm at. It's me, and I certainly wouldn't put it on anyone else. I wouldn't. I don't tell people what bears to shoot, period. And so that's my explanation. Anyway, we're gonna head out here in a little bit, and I'll see you when we get in the stand for day number 2. I want to thank Dave and Todd for allowing me to use that footage that they shot with their iPhones of their hunts. It's actually kind of pretty cool to be able to actually see the hunts of the other guys that are in camp. And I got to get my bow hung up here, and even though I'm right in the sunshine, I'm obviously going to have to get the thermocell started pretty quick. It's really swampy around here, and I like the looks of this spot though. And nobody's hunted here, and they don't have a camera on it, but it looks like it's been getting a lot of activity. All right, a lot of ravens around. Get this thermocell going. All right, so we dropped off Casey first. There's 4 of us in camp, and Casey and I haven't shot a bear. The other 2 guys shot one the first night, and we dropped him off and then drove up here, and I'm literally 45 miles from where we dropped him off. So these baits are a long ways apart, which is fine. It just means that sometimes it takes a while to get picked up, and the guides will split up. I was dropped off here by Gord, who's a pretty neat guy, and spent a lot of his life in the bush. So he's just kind of fun to talk to about bears and so forth, and he sure likes doing this. And it's people you meet are some of the cool parts of doing these bear hunts. So anyway, I am going to get settled in here. I will just say this, that now it's night number 2. It's 80 degrees again, and tomorrow high is supposed to be 62, and then The day after that it's supposed to rain with a high of 50, I think. So the list of bears that I will not shoot is getting shorter. And we'll see what happens here tonight, but I'm going to be a little bit more tempted to kill a bear tonight than I was last night. $7.40. Been here quite a while, have not seen any bears. The wind really came up. It's really swirling and going all over the place. And I suppose it's dropped about 15 degrees, so got some time to go here, but it should happen tonight. We should see a bear or two. We'll just keep sticking it out. A lot of ravens zooming in and out of here. Interesting thing is you can see a long ways because there's very little leaf cover on the plants near the ground, and which means that the bears can see you from a long ways away too. So those that like to hang up and look and move back and forth and try to see everything at the bait, they have a little bit of an advantage. Scared the crap out of that bear. Holy cow. Leave it alone. They were getting bigger, now they're getting smaller. That's just a yearling. That could very well be the yearling cub of that big sow that just went through here about half an hour ago. Well, it's 9:15 and the end of legal shooting light is 10:03. we saw 3 bears tonight. We might still have a chance here, very possible, but the first bear that came in, it was so strange. The bear was just right kind of outside the bait area, about 30 yards away, and a gust of wind broke off the top of a tree right beside me, and it came crashing to the ground right beside me, and it freaked that bear out. It went a couple of body lengths up a tree and then kind of came down and laid there for a while before it finally came into the bait, and it was here for a while. And I could not tell if it was a boar or a sow. It's a 2.5-year-old, 120, 130 pound bear. I just couldn't figure out it was a boar or a sow, but I knew I wasn't going to shoot it. And then a big sow came rolling through about a half an hour later, and she came just kind of rolling right into the bait, and I was kind of hurrying to get the camera on and get it in position and all that, and I just knew I wasn't going to shoot her, but I took kind of too much risk with movement, and she pegged me and looked up at me a little bit and walked around and just kept looking up at me, and then just left, and kind of thought we might see her again. And she still might come back. And then I thought it was really weird that there's a big old mature sow like that, and she's all by herself this time of the year. She should either have new cubs with her, or she should have yearling cubs with her. Well, half an hour after she left, then a yearling cub came in, so pretty likely that that's one of her cubs. And he was here for quite a while, and ate quite a bit. Boy, he was jittery, but then he left, and so anyway, it's been an exciting day, and I do have cell service here, and I haven't heard anything from anybody, so I don't know if Casey has shot a bear yet or not, but we're just gonna keep plugging away at it, and thanks for tagging along on this. I hope you're enjoying it, and we will see you tomorrow.